They working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love for They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repentant. They hate the fact that we're truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks, with these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. Nubreed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Undoubtedly, the one you call Jesus Christ was a black man. He was melanated. He had hair like wool. He had a deep voice. He was dark-skinned. He wasn't only just a black man. He was a dark-skinned man. He wasn't brown. He wasn't light-skinned. No, Christ was dark. We're talking about Wesley Snipes, dark. So let's make that clear. That's how he's described biblically. I don't know who this character is that they put up, but clearly the Most High God ain't happy with it. What my man Sizzler say? We serve no white God. I'm sorry, he's not white. Christian. I know that you have a hard time accepting this. You have a hard time understanding that Christ is the same image as your sons, as your uncles, as your father, as your grandfather, as the man that you dealt with. Yeah, he came in that same image. His lineage and bloodline is of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He comes through the lineage of David. He was a black man, all right? There's no doubt about it. in some extra biblical text on record, on file, it even goes into race attributing to his crucifixion because of the things he was bringing to the world. They even say his race contributed to his crucifixion. Now, let's make that clear. And if you have a problem with that, if you have an issue with that, so be it. But make this clear. Regardless of what your nationality is, your color, kindred, or creed, if you choose not to remember Christ as the scriptures have said, that's on you. You have to take that up with the Lord. But you see how the Lord is dealing with false idols.
Are you children of Israel? We are the biblical Israelites. Let's shine our light on this entire world and let them know that we're not standing for these 2/3 and their evil intentions for us. And we're not falling for the tricks and the charades. It's time that we rise up, honor the law, statutes, and commandments written up in that Bible, and stay on the right direction. What's good, everybody? It's your brother Nubreed coming through with another live stream. Peace and blessings to the chat. I see everybody rolling in. Shout out to Baba Ronson. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to that brother there. Salute to the elder. I see everybody rolling in. Hector's in the building. Saffron is in the house. Casper's in the building. Dublin Fitzpatrick. God's Property. Jeffrey Sykes, Laura Lee, Tamika Buckley. Okay. Y'all give it up for yourselves. Give it up for yourselves. I got on the army fatigue for a reason. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are waging a race war. Not just Andrew Tate, but it's a whole host of them, which I'm going to bring out in this particular broadcast as well. But as of late, Andrew Tate went on Piers Morgan's show. Y'all, the things that he had to say, I couldn't believe my ears. Then again, it really doesn't surprise me. But Andrew Tate was inciting violence against our people. He was saying some very inflammatory remarks. And we got to talk about this because it's like these people don't learn, right? They don't learn. We just seen Charlie Kirk go out by getting popped in his neck, spewing out blood like a faucet by the hands of one of his own. But nonetheless, the media is trying to spin that web that they spin. Tate also took it upon himself to push the whole left-wing narrative to bring more political conflict, which will equal racial conflict. See, that's a smokescreen. But Sassy Andrew was going in. I mean, some of this interview is going to be a tough listen because the man didn't have no control over his emotions. You know, his effeminate nature really showed. And like I already told a lot of you all, Andrew Tate, one of these guys that pretty much overcompensates. You know, those guys that talk real tough and always showing out and trying to appear larger than life when really he's just a weak little man. Just a weakling. Y'all know the type. Y'all know the type back in high school that just used to do a lot of this right here. But deep down inside, they was charming, baby-ish, soft. deep down inside, they was moist by choice, whoopee cushion, yogurt parfait, funnel cake soft. I mean, just Pop-Tart, cherry muffin, just soft. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're familiar with those type, that's Andrew Tate. All right. He's also controlled opposition. He's an agent of chaos. I believe him to be a Freemasonic puppet that's just being used to generate more conflict within society. And yeah, we got to get into it today. And yes, I see Sister 1973. She already rolling. You know we're going to have our scriptures ready, sister. She said Proverbs 11 and 12. Whoever derides their neighbor has no sense, but the one who has understanding holds their tongue. That's right. That's right. And that's something sugary sweet, sassy Andrew Tate don't know nothing about. He don't know nothing about having governed over his soul or his spirit or his mouth, his tongue. He don't have no discipline over himself, right? And you're going to hear that in this interview. But some of the things he said that I was able to catch, I was like, oh no, this is a bad look. This is a real bad look. Now we're going to be going to it, right? We're going to be going to that interview, and we're going to put some things in context. We're going to make some rebuttals. We're going to bring some scriptures. It's going to be a loaded show. All right. And the way they framed this particular episode, it talks about him being misogynist. But to be honest, that's the least of our worries when it came to this particular show, because he said other things that really need to be highlighted, right? Now, first and foremost, after Charlie Kirk got what he got, Andrew Tate posted none other than Civil War. I believe on one of his social media accounts, he posted Civil War. So in context, the part I'm about to play right now, Piers Morgan is asking about that. Like, what do you mean Civil War? That sounds like you're inciting violence here. Right after Charlie Kirk got popped, that's what he posted, right? So we're going to start off at that point. With no further ado, let's get to it.
Conservatives can't give their opinion and they can't talk openly and freely without catching a bullet, then I guess it is a war. But that wasn't what I was inferring. I was inferring that civil war is coming if we can't speak to each other and unify behind an idea, especially the idea of being an American. You've now added a verb saying that I was trying to incite civil war, because very much like all other media figures, it's your primary intention.
I didn't add anything.
It's your primary intention to just spin up negative clips and find things that get you
What do you mean I
views,
added?
and that's exactly what the liberal media has always done, which is why conservatives are under permanent attack.
Hang on.
We're going to now sit here and say I'm a violent person.
No, I didn't say
when
that.
someone else turns up at my house attempting to kill me like they did 3 weeks ago,
why are you putting
words
that
has nothing to do with you, Pierce.
Why are you
the liberal media in and of
you
itself
can
is
keep
truly
talking.
disgusting. It's the reason why Charlie Kirk had to eat a
if you
bullet.
let me respond
because the
to
liberal
you.
media convinced this guy who's been probably looks like he's on SSRIs to me, that Charlie Kirk was the heart of evil when he truly wasn't. So please do not, in this conversation about a fallen comrade, do not do the exact thing the media always do and the exact thing that ended up getting him killed. Do not say I said something I didn't say, and do not give some garbage inference trying to get a bunch of clicks on your channel. You may need money, but I don't, sir. So I don't care about
just
clicks.
respond.
You may be broke. I'm not. I didn't say let's go to civil war.
If I may
didn't say let's
respond,
start a civil war.
If I may respond,
I
you
said
can keep
civil war
talking, Andrew, or you can shut up.
It sounds like Andrew Tate is in his feminine energy. Piers Morgan simply asked about him posting what he posted. But the hypocrisy of that outrageous rant that he just went on, he actually incites violence against none other than our people in this interview. And y'all got to hear this because this is crazy. Watch. Let's go.
Never added any verb. I literally read your post was 2 words.
And neither did
Civil war. I never added a verb. So the whole pretext for your whole pretext for your little rant about me is based on a lie, which the viewers will know was a lie because they heard what I said. I never added any words to your post. I read out the words civil war and asked you what you meant by it. You then clarified it. You then clarified it. And I would say to you in return that if you don't want people to misinterpret your post, then maybe post what you actually mean rather than posting the words civil war.
Now, we know that it's a very sensitive time in America right now. There's a lot of racial tension building up. And it's not because melanated people are doing anything to these white nationalist groups, these white supremacists and suspected white supremacists. It's not because of that. It's because these white supremacists have become so violent, so full of hatred. And because they don't know how to deal with the fact that one of their own took one of their own out, they're now trying to reshape the narrative and they want blood because of it. Y'all heard the governor of Utah talking about, let's pray for the guy who killed Charlie Kirk. He said he wished it wasn't one of theirs. Why? Because these people want to go on a witch hunt. These people want to manufacture a crisis. That's what it's about. Make no mistake about it. They want a race war. And it will come to that. Matter of fact, the scriptures validate that it will come to that. The book of 2nd Esdras, 15 and 15. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For they shall be seditions among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. See, ladies and gentlemen, that's clearly speaking of a civil war and chaos. That's clearly speaking of people rising up against one another and against the government for that matter, because they're not going to even regard the kings. That's prophetic right there. So make no mistake about it. They all on one accord with this. And we're going to go to some real troubling news to a degree, because he's not the only one uttering these sentiments that you're going to hear, right? They all want this war. But let's go.
Which I think are incendiary. Thank you very much. It's clear that conservatives are under attack by a rabid left-wing sect of the population, which is being radicalized by media figures, very much like yourself.
Now, we know that not to be true. We already know that the young man who killed Charlie Kirk, what was his name? I forget right now. His name was something Rob Tyler. How can I forget that? The most whitest name in America. Hey, Tyler. Tyler Robinson was raised in a Republican family. And when he voted, he was nonpartisan. We got the detail. We pulled the facts up. Matter of fact, we was the first platform to bring that forth. That, hey, this is a Republican family, and he was nonpartisan. Charlie Kirk was nonpartisan. So they're trying to create this boogeyman coming from the left as if it's all these organizations, when we know that it was an inside job of blood sacrifice to push a race war. Starts off with political conflict, ends with a race war. We seen the same guy, the same security officer that was next to Charlie Kirk. He was also next to Donald Trump when Donald Trump had an assassination attempt. We seen 3 men throwing up sniper salutes right out of the military handbook. We know it was an inside job, just like JFK was an inside job. These people been wiping each other off the map. It's nothing new. But now things are reaching its boiling point because they're now looking for an scapegoat.
That is clear. We just saw a man bleed to death in front of his wife and children, purely because the media convinces everybody at home that he is evil somehow for having an opinion.
There is an irony. There is an irony. Okay.
And MSNBC and all of these people who do this, even after his death, we're constantly trying to make excuses for the shooter.
Yeah.
It is disgusting.
Okay.
The lie, and I know you don't care, Pierce, but a man tried to come into my house and stab me 3 weeks ago. So for you to infer I'm saying that we need to have a civil war, it's actually quite heinous. So please be careful, sir.
He's clout chasing.
I'm not the one who said civil war. You are.
I said civil war, and then you tried to infer, you tried to sit and ask and infer that I'm trying to promote violence.
I asked you what you meant by it.
First, you talked about how my tweets are inflammatory, and you're trying to say that I promote violence. Then you read those tweets out because you're inferring I'm a violent person, so that some idiot at home is going to watch this and believe that I deserve to die. And I'm telling you that I'm here. I understand you need views. I understand you need clicks. I understand you're poor. I'm not. I'm here. I don't give a shit about the views. Do not infer I said something I did not say. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I didn't, as everybody who watches this knows, so you just lied. Andrew Tate, thank you very much. Well, now, here is that extraordinary interview from earlier this week, as it was recorded in real time.
Now, we're going to fast forward because he's doing his sponsorships. Let's go.
Global indignation. But the root cause of it all, and the motives behind it, can both get lost in the noise. This summer's Raise the Colours campaign is a case in point, a big push to hoist the English Constitution for gain, related to 3 women in the UK, and your brother Tristan faces 11 charges, including rape, actual bodily harm, and human trafficking. What is your response to that development?
And, you know, they're still in hot water because of this. I don't think it's been a trial yet. All those charges that was levied against Andrew Tate and his brother. Y'all seen when he was arrested, he was throwing up Illuminati hand signs, Freemasonic hand signs. Honestly, it's hard to tell what's going on with that case. They're going to talk about that for a little while. But listen, they put these control operatives, they put them in different scenarios or they get them out of different scenarios, right? But let's continue.
Your life.
My response is very simple, Piers. It was the UK Foreign Office that wrote to the Romanians in 2023 and said I was a national security threat because I had too much influence over the young men of the country. They told the Romanians to get me off the internet. The Romanians arrested me and, as you know, spent 3 years accusing me of things that were not true. The Romanians threw the entire case out because it's garbage and there never was a case. Once the Romanians throw their case out, then the British state brings up some garbage. I'm considered a national security threat to the Matrix and all they do is lie. You have seen and we have spoken.
Don't be fooled. He's part of the Matrix, y'all. Don't be fooled. This man is a multimillionaire. He's been a multimillionaire. He is definitely an industry plant. Right after Kevin Samuels died, if y'all can remember, they just threw Andrew Tate out of nowhere, and he was already rich. They made him blow up on social media for a reason, all right? Make no mistake about that.
Multiple times throughout this fiasco of what's happened to me in Romania, and I've yet to have a court case or ever be convicted of anything ever. This is a deep state operation by the UK Foreign Office trying to stop me from doing the one thing I'm intent on doing, which is saving the British state from themselves.
Will you come back to the United Kingdom to stand trial?
Absolutely. I'm not scared of these people. They're lying and they know they're lying. I beat the Romanian system, sir. You do understand this is the most corrupt country in Europe. You do understand that if there was even 1% truth to any of their accusations, I'd be under the jail. I'm sure you know that very well. They couldn't even find a victim. It is all invented. The UK Foreign Office specifically wrote to the Romanians and said, get him off the internet. I have the paperwork. The second I'm there in the UK, I'll be sitting with you.
Y'all remember this case when he was sitting there in front of pizza boxes, speaking the Masonic code? Any of y'all know about Pizzagate? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all remember him sitting there in front of those boxes when he got those human trafficking charges levied on him? We already know that Tate is part of the Matrix. Don't let him fool you, right? Don't let them fool you. They always put these damn plants in place.
Unless I'm remanded with that piece of paper showing you this is a setup from an intelligence agency because I'm considered a national security threat because young men listen to me instead of their propaganda. It is a lie. And anybody after Lucy Connolly and everything else they've done to everybody after the Southport attacks, if anybody has any faith left in the British justice system, they need their head checked. All of it's a lie. All of the accusations a lie. All of the media is a lie. It's a scam. And Piers, you know it is. You know I've done nothing wrong.
I don't know that.
Yes, of course you do.
Even you.
I don't know. I don't know.
Even you.
I don't know. Just to be
with
clear.
Your limited faculties,
listen, Andrew.
Understand very well that I am clearly a target of the system.
Andrew.
Man, this guy he just sounds like a whiny brat, bro. And, you know, a lot of you young brothers and sisters, not you sisters, women can see things. Women know. But a lot of you brothers who really thinking this is masculinity, and look, I got to let you know, this behavior right here is not very becoming at all. You're supposed to be able to carry yourself on an interview in a proper fashion. You know, you're supposed to handle yourself class personified. This is a man child, for goodness sakes. This is a bad look, but we're going to get to some of the stuff he said, man, and it's inflammatory. Let's go.
True. I know what you say about this. I also believe that everyone's entitled to a fair trial. I believe everyone's innocent till proven guilty. And I believe in the British justice system. If you say you're going to come back and face trial, that seems to me to be the best way for the evidence to be properly examined in a British court of law, and your fate will be determined in that way, as it is for many other people. I don't know.
Believe in the British
I've not been around you in your environment. I don't know. I don't know whether you're innocent or guilty. How would I know?
Well, you do know I'm innocent. I can see it all over your face, Pierce.
No, you can't.
Of course I can.
I don't know what you're guilty of or innocent of. But
well, you sat there and told me that Israel wasn't committing a genocide and you were wrong. And you told me that the vaccine was important and you were wrong. And you told me that I was going to go to jail in Romania and you were wrong. So your whole life you've been wrong.
I didn't.
So
I did. Well, okay.
Now we got to hear what he has to say about the racially motivated stuff he had to say. Let's skip it, right?
You think black people suffer from crime?
I think they are also some crime? Absolutely. Yeah. But I would argue, and perhaps I'm wrong, but that's never happened before, that a black person isn't killed because of the color of their skin. They're going to be killed because there's some other drug dealing debt for them to deal with in inner city Chicago. That young girl was killed because she was white. It was a hate crime and she was targeted.
We don't actually know that.
So, you know, now mind you, here we have Andrew Tate trying to hone in on the black guy that killed the Ukrainian girl on the train, right? The black guy being homeless with mental health issues. And he focuses on this for quite some time. And here's the issue, right? Here's the issue. Why isn't he focusing more on the person who killed Charlie Kirk? Because right now he's trying to shift the blame to our people right now. Yeah, they stay speaking on Chicago. Chicago is just like a catchphrase to real people. And you know what's crazy? Trump's not going to Chicago. They pulled off the dogs. They called off the dogs. Yeah, they're not going to Chicago. They did a press conference about that and said that they were going to go to Memphis, Tennessee. Why? Because crime is down in Chicago. So, like, people keep using that, right? But instead of focusing on the man who killed Charlie Kirk, he wants to continue. They want to keep jarring at this story about the guy on the train, right? They want to keep at that. Let's go.
Of course we know that.
No.
I'll show you how we know that.
No. I know what you're going to say because I've already debated it. The reality of the situation, you had a severely mentally ill, probably schizophrenic.
I'm
about to tell you.
People are mentally ill.
Let's deal with some facts. Let's deal with some facts. Then you can give me your opinion. That's how this works, right? He is heard on tape saying, "I got the white girl." Okay, that suggests a potential racial motivation.
Potentially.
Yeah, okay, but we don't actually know. And I do think, as I've said...
I mean, that doesn't say it's racially motivated. It doesn't. He's just describing the person that he took out. That's it. That doesn't make it a racially charged thing. He could have, realistically speaking, somebody with mental health issues could have done that to anybody that was sitting in front of them. Seriously. Let's go.
Publicly, I do think the mainstream media has behaved in a very hypocritical manner. If that had been the other way round and you'd had a white man killing a beautiful young black girl and saying, I got the black girl, it would have instantly been a huge story covered by mainstream media in a very aggressive manner. The fact that this was ignored for several days was...
And do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, get the likes up, because I'm going to be bringing out some info on other people as well that had some real choice words for our people at the moment, and more people inciting some type of war, some civil war in the near future. So get the likes up. I'm bringing out the real deal. Let's go.
An indication to me that there was a decision taken.
Prejudice.
Yeah, so I think there was a clear bias exposed in the way it was ignored. So I would agree with you about that. But I do think it's important to point out this guy had been in and out of prison 14 times, should never have been let out, but is clearly mentally ill, probably schizophrenic. We don't actually know what motivated him to kill this poor Ukrainian woman. Do. And the reason it's important is that once we do
Judah, I see you in the chat. He says that Andrew Tate is someone that we should look up to. Respectfully, I disagree. We're talking about a man who spent most of his career pimping women out, but at the same time simultaneously trying to promote masculinity, going in on simps, but at the same time running call centers for simps. Like I've done my research on Andrew Tate. I'm not someone who's just speaking as someone just randomly, sir. Judah, I respect your opinion. I do respect your opinion, but you got to respect mine as well. This man has been pimping, but at the same time going in on simps while he's actually putting these women out there for simps. The man's a hypocrite. That's a hypocritical person. Yeah, and exactly. And then he bragged about it publicly. So I think you need to do your research. Do your research on him. All right, let's go.
Establish more information and more facts, we can make a more considered opinion. One of the issues I have with you, Andrew, and a lot of other people, is that there's always a rush to judgment. And the problem with rushes to judgment is later information may contradict what you're feeling in the moment. I remember in the riots that erupted after we had a young black boy killing those poor white girls, right? There was a rush to judgment that he'd come in illegally on a boat on the south coast of the UK. It turned out that wasn't the case. So I believe in waiting for facts and information and then casting a judgment. And I think my criticism...
But see, these suspected white supremacists don't believe in waiting. They start casting blame. They ready to sick the hounds. They ready to go on a witch hunt. They ready for bloodshed. They ready to go to war. Y'all got to think about it. You got a president that just turned the Pentagon into the Department of War. A couple of days later, Charlie Kirk gets popped in the neck. Y'all don't find that suspicious? These people are bloodthirsty. So soon as something happened, what did they do? Jump on the news. Oh man, they coming after us. We got to go after left extremists, and they got to pay for it before they even knew who did it. Oh, these people are bloodthirsty. Believe that. They don't care about the facts.
Of you in these situations is you have immediately decided that was the motivation, therefore it's a racist hate crime, and that's it. And I would argue to you, why don't you give it a bit of time? Why don't you wait for more information and make a more considered opinion?
Okay, first things first, if we're going to talk about waiting for information, you shouldn't have told me that Israel was not committing a genocide on October 8th. You've been proven wrong. That's the first thing. The second thing, he said, I got that white girl. You're going to pretend that doesn't matter as if it's not proven.
I didn't say it didn't matter.
Third thing,
I said it suggests a racial motivation.
Everybody who stabs somebody is mentally ill. This mentally ill bullshit, I don't know where this has come from, where someone's a criminal, but they're mentally ill. Every single person who commits murder is mentally ill. Every single person who commits necrophilia is mentally ill. Every single person who believes they can get in and out of a bank with money without getting caught has some kind of mental disorder. They're all mentally ill. I don't care about mentally ill. And here's the final nail in the coffin to your asinine argument, sir. Why did he not stab anyone else on the bus? Because he was already on a bus with 4 people and he didn't touch them. If he's so mental, if he can't control his mind, why didn't he stab any of those? Is it because everyone else on the bus was black? The first white person he sees, he kills and says, I got that white girl. And you don't believe that's enough proof for a court of law to determine that was a racially motivated attack?
It wouldn't be enough proof at the moment for a court of law, no. Absolutely, I believe that. But that's because I've covered many court cases and you haven't. No, as a journalist... As a journalist, I just prefer. I prefer in waiting.
See, they want to make everything race specific when it comes to that situation because they need somebody to go after. The dude is first of all, the dude is already locked up, facing federal time and perhaps even a death penalty. He's already held accountable for his actions. So y'all got to think about this. This guy's already being held accountable for his actions. What else is Andrew Tate want? I'll tell you. He wants a witch hunt. He wants anger. He wants to stir up the pot. He wants more conflict. Watch this escalate.
For more information.
Black people on the bus.
I think
this person, who I will agree was probably deranged, although I give no merit to that, although it does not garner any sympathy from me, he clearly had something wrong with him. This person was radicalized by a leftist media machine, which blames every single thing on white people, which says that white people are the devils, that everything white people have done is wrong, that their entire history is wrong, and that they deserve the bad things that happen to them.
You have no idea. You have no idea that he
demonized an entire race endlessly. We're going to end up having a few idiots who act on that.
But Andrew,
and that's what this man did because of the media.
So that's the new story. Anybody who talks about the evil that said group of people may be doing is the reason why all this violence is taking place, according to Tate. Watch this.
Leftist media are complicit in what happened to this poor young girl.
Actually, you have absolutely no idea if anything you've just said is remotely true.
I have absolute certainty that it is a fact.
None of it. It's not a fact. If it was a fact, we'd all be...
It is a fact.
No, it's not a fact yet. That's the point. This is my point. Again,
the
off you go.
Media has done
off you go, making a series of assumptions.
For as long... Okay, all right. If you want to be smart, let me prove you wrong.
I'm not being smart. Again. I'm just saying it's not a fact.
Wrong once again. This is... Piers. I'm well-versed in you by now. This is easy. Let me ask you a question. If there's an Islamic terror attack, like the London bombings, and then Abu Hamza, Mr. Hook, Captain Hook, he ends up going to jail for a very long time. He didn't blow anything up. But no, he was talking about how Islamic terror attacks should happen because he believes that people deserve them because of his personal worldview. He was instigating so that some idiot would listen to him with less brains than him.
You know, one thing I want to say, these billionaires, right? Billionaires don't have any reason to be ranting and raving of what's going on in society the way they do. They're billionaires. And see, this is where people get it twisted, right? Anybody who's a billionaire who has all these resources, the things they speak about, they have the resources to actually make changes within the community to bring peace, to bring some type of levity. They can start organizations and movements to bring the people together to have a real conversation. They can bring together all these billions of dollars. They can bring unity if they want. Listen, the only people who's supposed to be speaking about the degradation of society is us, ladies and gentlemen, not these damn billionaires. They can't speak for us. Anything they're doing is to spin a narrative. That's it. A negative, a narrative that aligns with whatever power circle that they're in, or whoever is above them, whoever's lobbying for them. I'm telling you. Let's go.
And then go and murder. What is the difference between that and what the leftist mainstream media is doing by constantly demonizing white people constantly and endlessly.
Well,
there's always going to be
no, you're raising, okay,
who's mentally impaired
allow me
on
to
some
respond.
level, who's going to act upon
Allow
it.
me to
So
respond.
we're locking up Islamic extremists
All right.
for discussing violence against
Allow
people
me
who
to
are not
respond.
Muslim. We should also be locking up anybody who's demonizing an entire race, demonizing all of their history, and demonizing them to the point where they cannot get on a bus. They can't get on public transport.
Hold on. Demonizing all their history, demonizing them to the point where they can't get on a bus, demonizing them to the point, ladies and gentlemen, he act like that our people are just slicing up white people. Like we just running around wiping out white folks. That we didn't demonize them so much they can't go anywhere in public and be safe. This is the narrative that Andrew Tate is painting right here. And this is the type of dangerous rhetoric that got Charlie Kirk popped in his neck. This is the type of hatred that he's spewing out right now. All while we're the ones who being demonized consistently. I'm going to tell you, man, Isaiah 14:21 says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. See, this verse right here is divine judgment to those who built nations through oppression. We can say a lot of things about their history, but God Almighty is going to bring judgment because they built cities on oppression. They're trying their best to make us an scapegoat. They're trying, y'all. They're trying.
Without worrying about being murdered. And I have a future on this planet where I'm not here. There's a future on this planet where my white daughters exist and I am gone. And they will be victims and targets unless white people start standing up for themselves, standing up for their beliefs, and standing up for their nations. Because you're the only race which is being erased. You're the only one. Nobody is invading and erasing any other race. Only you white people. And you seem to sit there and wonder, oh, maybe it's not too bad. Maybe it's because of this. Maybe it's because of that. It doesn't matter. The world is tribal. You're not going to exist much longer if you don't stick up for yourselves. And you are clearly targets of an orchestrated campaign. There is a campaign which is designed to demoralize and eradicate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now this type of talk is dangerous. He said that's an orchestrated, coordinated attack against these people to try to eradicate them. Literally, what's happening to Black America, he's putting all that in reverse. He's claiming that, and this is based on, in context, the stabbing that happened on that train. He talk about his white daughters are going to be in danger. This fool don't even understand biology. He's a black man. His dad was black. He believes every woman he has a baby with, the baby takes the nationality. He's an idiot. He don't understand that the bloodline comes through the father. He says he has white babies, Indian babies, black babies, all of this all over the world, right? Not understanding all those babies are black. But he's an idiot. But you got this fool right here claiming that there's a coordinated conspiracy, that there's a conspiracy to take out white people. He's saying these things. I speak for the black delegation when I say this. Listen, we're not on that. Our people is looking at God judge. We don't have to try to go after any white people. And matter of fact, we want unity with white people who can see, who are cool, who understand the struggle, who down for the cause, who actually understand our plight. And far as middle America goes, far as what they got going on, they destroying each other. They out here wiping each other out. They're wiping each other out. We don't have to do nothing but sit back and watch God work. That's all we doing, sitting back and let the Lord work. Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. We know we're going to be saved out of it. We know us foundational Black Americans are going to be saved out of Jacob's trouble. We don't have to pick up no weapons, nothing. We're not out here on that. But we definitely going to talk about it. We're going to talk about, when I say talk about, we're going to talk about what y'all got going on in y'all communities. Oh, we definitely going to talk about it. Listen to this rant, y'all.
To respond.
We're locking up Islamic extremists for discussing on, and they will be victims and targets unless white people start standing up for themselves, standing up for their beliefs, and standing up for their nations. Because you're the only race which is being erased.
They're the only race that's being erased. It is not our fault that they having low birth rates. That ain't got nothing to do with us because Blacks and Hispanics are populating. Try getting it in more. I don't know. What you want me to say? It's not our fault.
You're the only one. Nobody is invading and erasing any other race. Only you white people.
Who's doing this? Who's erasing these people? Who's doing it? Can somebody tell me who's erasing white people? I mean, seriously, even the white nationalists that be hiding in the chat, they even laughing like, yeah, he jumped out with a stretched. Yeah, this dude is clearly possessed by something. Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, are these people possessed? Because either this is ideological subversion or you got some demons on you, boy. When you just screaming things that don't even make sense. Yeah, you got Lex Luthor over here just screaming things. We not out here. We don't have eugenics labs, so we definitely ain't wiping them out. It's like they do things that wipe themselves out, then they want to blame us. Yeah, this boy is delusional, man. Look, the chat is cracking up. We just like he's trying to infer, because he kept saying infer. You're trying to infer. He's trying to infer that we out here wiping out white people.
And you seem to sit there and wonder, oh, maybe it's not too bad. Maybe it's because of this. Maybe it's because of that. It doesn't matter. The world is tribal. You're not going to exist much longer if you don't stick up for yourselves.
Stick up for yourselves by doing what? What are they going to do? He's literally manufacturing a crisis. Stick up for themselves and do what?
And you are clearly targets of an orchestrated campaign. There is a campaign which is designed to demoralize and eradicate you. And there are a few idiots who listen to this campaign and act on it savagely in real time on your public transport systems that you pay for with your...
Well, what about, why doesn't he have this same energy for Tyler? Why he don't have this same energy for Tyler, who took a damn rifle and blew Charlie Kirk's head off for the world to see in the most barbaric fashion possible? Shot him right in the neck. Why he don't have that type of energy for Tyler? I'll tell you why. Because Tyler was taught by the same hate that he's really talking about. And see, man, in this type of talk, and these guys wondering why they keep having people make attempts on their lives. There wasn't black people who tried to assassinate Trump. We talking about there's other white males trying to take out the president. We have a severe white on white crime epidemic in America. Not just any white on white crime, but high profile white on white crime. High profile public white on white crime is a real issue in our country. So much so, everybody's concerned. I speak for all marginalized groups in America. We seeing what y'all got going on with Charlie Kirk. We seeing what's going on in y'all's news media, how y'all trying to have racial conflict. I mean, how y'all trying to have political conflict. How it seemed like Democrats and Republicans have become Bloods and Crips for real. We're concerned. We're just simply concerned citizens. How many of y'all agree with that? Yeah, his anger is abnormal. He in there screaming like he take estrogen boosters or something. What's wrong with him? Watch this though. He said that basically white people need to rally up and get tribal with it. He's saying that they need to get tribal with it. He's talking about a whole tribal war. He's trying to tell white people to have a tribal war with who? Like, what's going on here?
When you stop shouting.
Let me ask you a question, Pierce.
Well, why don't you just stop shouting for a moment and let me respond?
Of taxes.
Here you go, talking about black people. So he's talking about us in context. He's talking about us.
Yeah.
To import white people who don't work to replace them? No other race on the planet would commit suicide to this level besides the white man.
Yeah.
And I'm here to encourage the white man to stand up for himself.
He's trying to encourage the white man to stand up for himself. He's inciting violence. I thought you didn't want no civil war. You're literally pushing for a civil war.
Since you mentioned taxes, you could explain why the police had to seize more than £2 million from your brother for failing to pay tax on revenue from your online businesses.
Great way to change subject. Why did the British state try and steal my money? Well, considering the British state, the Foreign Office meddled in a foreign country's prosecution service and wrote them a letter and asked the intelligence services of Romania to get me off the internet. I guess, since I'm a national security threat, all bets are off. Of course they stole my money. Of course they do.
He's not a national security threat. He's a damn industry plant. Man been a damn billionaire, multi-millionaire his whole life. They put him in here to do exactly what he's doing right now. He ain't no different than Myron Gaines. He ain't no different from Nick Fuentes. And he ain't no damn different from Charlie Kirk. That's it. That's all I'm saying. How many of y'all brothers and sisters out here just want these people to leave us alone? If you agree with that, just put in the chat, look, that's y'all business. This ain't none of our business. Just let them know, y'all. Let them know. Let them know that what they got going on in their community ain't none of our business. And we ain't did nothing to y'all.
They do anything they can to me because they consider me the enemy.
But you avoided paying tax. So you raised the issue of being a taxpayer.
They do.
Well, you raised the issue of being a taxpayer.
They want to get rid of the man who talks about the problem.
All right.
And then the UK doesn't have enough issues.
At some point, you need to stop talking.
Let me ask you a question, sir. All of the knife crime that's happening in London, all of the blood that's running on the streets, considering you can't even wear a nice watch in that city anymore, is it white people or black people who are doing the stabbing? Well, I'm half white, half black. You can't offend me. Just tell me the truth.
And who are most of the victims?
Who's doing all the killing?
And who are most of the victims?
Well, some of them are black. Some of them are white. It doesn't matter.
Actually, the vast majority are black. So your whole argument, the whole argument you've been shouting about, the whole argument.
He don't care if it's blacks killing only blacks. Blacks shouldn't be killing people. You just had Tyler kill. Tyler just killed Charlie Kirk. How about people shouldn't be killing each other? How about people shouldn't be killing each other? It's like, why won't they leave us alone, bro? That's right. That's y'all business. Leave melanated folks out of. Leave blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Haitians, Jamaicans, Panamanians, Cubans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. Leave us out this shit. All right? We don't want nothing to do with this, bro. This is y'all's problems. This ain't none of our damn business. Let's go.
You've been shouting about for the last 10 minutes, you've just exposed yourself as being a misleading argument.
Yep.
Absolutely not. I don't care if black people kill only blacks. I don't care if black people only kill Chinese. Black people shouldn't be killing.
Nobody should be killing. So you telling me white on white crime is just fine? So everybody else should have the right to kill. Everybody else should, by this man's logic, when you just listen to these people who get these platforms, when you really listen, they're idiots, right? They're idiots. So white people should have the honor to kill. Indians, Middle Eastern Indians, Chinese, they can kill. But black people, oh, y'all keep y'all hands to yourself. Especially if the violence is done on a white person. Listen, nobody should be killing. Nobody, right? Unless it's self-defense. Let's go.
An issue within the black community, which is leading them towards violence. We can discuss whether it's genetic. We can discuss whether it's cultural. We can discuss whether it's systemic. We can discuss that. But it is
genetic, cultural, and systemic. Mr. Tate, we have never committed genocide. We have never dropped a nuclear bomb on anyone. We don't burn down churches. We don't shoot up schools with children in them. We don't go to war with other countries and wipe out villages. Is it genetic with those other folks? Like what? Why they won't leave us alone? Yo, let's see. Life, Mo, and Abundance. Thanks for the contribution. I appreciate it. It says, when Judah woke up, we became the primary target because judgment is on the horizon for the heathen nations who crossed the line with Yah. That's a fact. I mean, the scriptures even tell us that for sure. The scriptures tell us that for sure. Matter of fact, we can hop right on Revelations 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, that thou shouldest giveth reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name. Small and great shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Oh, the Most High gonna give us just due. The servants, the ones who serve and built the country, we're gonna be rewarded. And we see this clear as day, because y'all won't leave us alone no matter what. Here it is, crime is going down in all the major cities. HBCUs are doing good. Everybody just kind of minding their business. All hell breaking loose in their communities. And they still trying to come after us. Listen, the Most High, he's about to send us through another awakening phase. That's why they really panicking, y'all. They are panicking. This is panic right here. And just because he got a black father don't mean he one of us. This is called a tether adjacent. This right here is a tether adjacent, meaning even if he has a black father, if he was, let's say he was Romanian, he was raised by them, you know, he adhered to those philosophies and ideologies, and he still goes against black people, that will make him a tether adjacent. All right. And that's what Andrew Tate is. A sassy tether.
Ignorant to pretend that there is no culture within the black community which is leading to violence. There clearly is. There clearly is. And that needs to be addressed. I say this as a half black man myself. My father was black. Half of my family is black, but I'm not blind.
So listen, y'all heard it. He said white people need to gear up. We got more. Don't go nowhere. Everybody hit the like button. I got more news for y'all. This is the part I wanted to show you from old Sassy Andrew, right? But I gotta go to some breaking news. I'm gonna get there, y'all, because it's a lot, man. He's not the only one talking this madness, man. We got to talk about Charlie Kirk's wife. Yeah. Charlie Kirk's wife blew a major dog whistle today. She blew a major dog whistle. I'm telling y'all, I couldn't be more serious about this. Not only her, look, the way he was just talking, the way Andrew was just talking. Y'all gotta understand how dangerous it is, him telling white people to stand up and they being taken out, and he's screaming white genocide. Who the hell is genociding white people? I don't know. But look at what's happening. Masked men, a Nazi-linked group standing in formation outside government buildings chanting for African people to be deported.
Australia for the white man! Australia for the white man! Bloody order! Bloody order! Hold victory!
Yesterday, there was another congregation of this white supremacist group, and this time it was outside of the Department of Immigration, where they were holding a racist xenophobic banner. It was then followed by racist and white supremacist chants associated with polarizing racist historical figures. The leader of this protest, which is Joel Davis, he was chanting, calling Australia for the white man, which, as you can see in this video, there was no police on site. Again, this is a pure example of public act of hate speech within public areas, which should be an offense. This time, they did it in daylight. And honestly, Victoria Police, what are you guys doing to crack down on these type of behaviors that is not making anyone within this country safe? And they are weaponizing concern to normalize their white supremacist and white nationalist views. A way to target the African community within Australia. Because this is not about protest, it's about a hate campaign that is being normalized. Create racial scapegoating to blame specific communities. And collectively, crimes are not only based on race. They claim to care about safety, but their ideologies and actions is rooted in violence, pushing fear and division within our communities.
Exactly. And after Charlie Kirk died, you would think that they would stop this harmful rhetoric. You would think that they would stop this. But these type of protests are breaking out worldwide, man. They're breaking out worldwide. These people want war. Now, I want you to hear what Charlie Kirk's wife had to say, right? Because I want to show y'all that all these people are on one accord. They all want somebody to go after. And everybody, everybody talking about, what about the wife and kids and all of that? Listen, we don't give a damn. We don't have nothing to do with that. And you know what else I'm tired of? I'm tired of people trying to tell us how we should feel. What our people are doing right now, social media have already spoken. Our people are already chose not to be empathetic towards Charlie Kirk nor his family. We've already made that decision. Ain't nothing they could do about it. You cannot bash us for how we process our emotions. And you're supposed to give us room to adequately cipher out how we feel about things. We the only race of people that the whole world turn to after something happens. And they want to know how we feel about it. And if we don't feel how they want us to feel, they go wagging a finger at us. We don't care. Charlie Kirk was racist. All right. The rhetoric he spewed was involuntary and inflammatory. The man said, this man is being compared to Martin Luther King, but Charlie Kirk himself said Martin Luther King was an awful person. We talking about a man who spent years making fun of George Floyd, trying to get Derek Chauvin exonerated. We talking about when Pelosi's husband got hit with a hammer. He was talking about bailing him out. We're talking about Charlie Kirk, the same guy that said he don't believe in empathy for any race. We're talking about Charlie Kirk that said he believes empathy is a sign of weakness. The same Charlie Kirk that said that we should have public executions. Well, it seems that he got publicly executed. And now we're supposed to feel some type of way about it. No, we don't care. All right? Now with that being said, listen to what his wife had to say. And she seems more angry than anything, but let's get into it.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism.
Now, who is they? She surely cannot be talking about the lone shooter. See, this is how I know this was an inside job and that lone shooter was a fall guy. She can't be talking about him because she said they. Who is they? I told y'all this was a blood sacrifice. I told y'all. Who is they? I thought it was Tyler. Listen.
Faith and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country.
You have no idea what you have just unleashed across this entire country. Now, does this sound like a grieving wife? Or does this sound like someone who's blowing a dog whistle? Look, Dirty MAGA's in the building. So ignore them, y'all. Now think about what she just said here. Like, what is this? He died. She looked demonic. If I'm just speaking quite frank with you, I don't care what y'all talking about. The wife looked demonic. You can feel how you want to feel. She sound evil. She look evil. She look like she drink blood. I don't give a damn. Nubreed, that's insensitive. I don't care. She look evil as hell. She sounds evil. She doesn't sound like someone who's trying to quiet the public down. She don't sound like somebody that's trying to, stop some of the tension. This sounds like a damn threat. You have no idea what you just released. What type of evil villain ass talk is this? People gonna hate me, bro. Y'all, you know what it is? I ain't afraid to say shit people are afraid to say. And I praise the Most High for that. Y'all can't tell me that she don't sound like she working with Beelzebub in them. Boy, these people, boy, this ain't none of our business, but y'all putting on a show. talking about something going to be unleashed. Only thing that's going to be released is Obadiah 1:15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathens. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy heads. That's the only thing that's going to be unleashed. God's wrath fitting to be unleashed. Huh? I said God's wrath fitting to be unleashed. Huh? What's she talking about? Y'all better take that up with yourselves. Nah, we rebuke you, ma'am. We want peace we want some peace. We rebuke this. This ain't of God. Why is she standing in front of a desk? Why you ain't at a church somewhere since you love Jesus so much? Why are you in an office? Go to a church somewhere. Go to your little white Southern Baptist church. Look at this.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's...
Who's the evildoers? I thought it was one shooter. Who is the evildoers? I thought it was Tyler. Who the hell is the evildoers? Can anybody from Dirty MAGA tell us who the hell this woman's talking about? Man, y'all in this joint cracking up. I'm telling you. This is wild.
Assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love.
Charlie Kirk spoke a message of God's merciful love? Charlie Kirk, the man who said he don't believe in empathy. Charlie Kirk. That's why y'all wonder why y'all wonder why, man. Some of these Southern Baptist white Christians, bro, they scare me, bro. They are the same type of Christians that was going to Sunday school back in the day, back in the 40s and 30s and 20s, going to Sunday school. Right after Sunday school, they go lynch a Negro. And then make a postcard. Be out there eating funnel cakes and ices and having picnics. That's why I can't trust these people. I cannot trust Southern Baptist white Christians, bro. It's something about y'all, bro. Not all of y'all, I'm sure. I'm just saying based on my experience. Y'all creep me out. I'm being honest. Y'all creep me the hell out. Charlie Kirk spoke a message of love. Where? All he did was bring divide. This is a 31-year-old man that was going to college campuses, talking ish, causing racial divide and tension. So much so they didn't even give Charlie Kirk an auditorium. They had to throw his ass outside somewhere because what he was saying was volatile. This the same Charlie Kirk that got on stage and was calling somebody a chink. Y'all remember he called that little Asian man a chink? Asian people don't bother nobody. What's undying love about that? He said, I'm a capitalist, you chink. That's what he said. Charlie Kirk said that. It's like when people die, y'all don't understand. Like, we're not going to forget legacy. The legacy you leave behind, that's what people going to remember. It is what it is. People going to remember you for what they remember you for. You can't rewrite history. See, these people are always used to rewriting history. We're not having that. Now, this is not a message. This is not a message she should have been authorized to put out.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination
Look at his face.
have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country.
You have no idea what you have unleashed across this entire country. Well, it should be love. If he taught love, merciful God's love, shouldn't his death spread love and joy? When Gandhi died, it spread love. When Martin Luther King died, people was talking about peace. Why the hell, when he died, something got to be unleashed, and we don't have no idea what the hell it is? That sounds demonic. When you killed my husband, we released all the demons from hell. Like what? You have no idea what you've spawned from hell, the lower gates, bottomless pit. Like, what the fuck is she talking about? You have no idea what you unleashed. In one breath, you say he spreaded love, but now some shit then got unleashed. Bro, y'all can miss me with this. I ain't feeling this, bro. This ain't even beginning to add up. Only thing that y'all unleash, only thing gonna be unleashed is Joel 3:19. Egypt shall be desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. For the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. That's the only thing y'all gonna unleash. Desolation and wilderness. Now they trying to freeze the numbers. Y'all get the likes up. They like, man, he be a little bit too off the Richter scale. We can't push him through the algorithm. That's the only thing y'all. That's the only thing gonna be unleashed. Desolation to Edom. Cause y'all ain't gonna do a damn thing to us. Y'all times of messing with us is coming to an end. It's coming to a screeching halt. It's about to be Esau's trouble out here. Your husband, the one, was throwing up 666 hand signs with all of them people. He chose to take the oath. He got taken out by his own kind. What the why the world gotta tremble in fear? She act like the Antichrist been released. Yeah, these people can't be real. You have no idea what you just unleashed. It's like she might as well gave us a supervillain laugh. Like, listen to this, y'all. Y'all, this is crazy. I can't stop replaying this. And I got more sources, but damn.
You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country.
That sounds like violence.
In this world, you have no idea.
In this world.
Yeah. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife.
The fire you just ignited.
The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
Like a battle cry? So you got the Department of War, which used to be the damn Pentagon. Bro, now she talking about her tears is going to hit the surface of the ground, and it's going to be a battle cry. Like, who are you people at war with? Why is things being unleashed that we don't know about? Why does this sound like a scene from the Hunger Games? Why does she sound like Candace Aberdeen from the Hunger Games? Why does this sound like something from Game of Thrones? Please explain to me why she addresses the public like what's that lady from Game of Thrones? What's her damn name? See, if you got any discernment, you know something ain't right about this. She gonna unleash a battle cry through her tears. A battle cry? Ma'am, only thing you gonna unleash is Isaiah 10 and 5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is my indignation. And I will send him against an hypocritical nation. Against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil, to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. That means God allows one nation to rise against another, to bring judgment, showing that even a race war could be a part of the Most High's prophecy. Even a race war. Even a race war can end up in God's people being up top. Man, my chat is lit. We lit off the Saturday night, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, she sound like my tears shall be a battle cry. Like, what's the lady name off of Game of Thrones? That's who she sound like. You know, the real evil lady off Game of Thrones. Can't remember her name, but y'all, I'm gonna play this through. I ain't gonna interrupt. And I'm going to let y'all crack jokes. It's only a minute. Let me play this through. Damn.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. They should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
That's sad. That's real sad. That's a dog whistle. That's a dog whistle. You using war terms. Battle cry, unleash. This is not right. This is not right. This is some ignorant ass stuff right here. This is ignorant as hell. This is not right at all. This is not how she should have addressed the nation, bro. And on top of that, you could tell she's not talking about some lone shooter. She's talking about going after somebody. Now, somebody sent the super chat to reread that one scripture, and I'm gonna do that. And while y'all let it, make sure y'all follow me on Twitter, on X. And that scripture was Isaiah 10 and 5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give a charge to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. So we're going to end up leaving plenteous and goods. We're going to have the spoils of war. Even if they tear each other apart, we're going to have the spoils of war. I'm telling you, these people want war, bro.
And pretty well established that the election was stolen. It's pretty well established that they are sabotaging Trump. All of these allegations are fucking bogus. I don't want to bridge the gap between the left and the right. Fuck you if you're a liberal. Fuck you if you hate Trump. Fuck you if you believe any of this bullshit. You're a retard. and I don't want to be in the same country as you. So, war. We're not here to be friends. You fucked up. You're sabotaging the country. You believe bullshit. And the bullshit you're believing, this propaganda comes from absolute fucking losers.
This is what these people want. This is what these people think. They want war. They want war. I'm telling you. They said they don't want to unify, y'all.
Accept victory. And when the Katie Brits of the world and all these rhinos start talking about victory, then we'll start listening to you. All we care about is winning. Why? Because that's what's going to save our country. And you want to sit there and say, now it's time for unity? No, we do not want unity, and we will not accept unity. We will only accept victory. And when the Katie Brits of the world and all these rhinos start talking about victory, then we'll start listening to you.
I'm telling you, after Trump renamed that Pentagon, something shifted. My name on X is Nubreed 404. All right. So make sure y'all follow me there, because I'm going to be setting up X Spaces. I'm definitely going to be getting on Spaces for anybody who want to chop it up with me. I'll probably be hopping on there on late nights. Just chopping it up with y'all firsthand. You know what I'm saying? And of course, we'll use the audios to, you know, put out podcasts and things of just us just chopping it up. So follow me on X, y'all. And I'm going to be posting a lot of my shorts on there, as well as I'm going to have a TikTok real soon. So that's also going to have a lot of my shorts. So make sure y'all follow me on these platforms, right? And actually, I think my tag is Nubreed Global. I think on X is Nubreed Global. It should be on here. Actually, it's right there at the bottom of your screen, y'all. It's right there on the bottom. Nubreed Global. Now, I'm telling you, these are the sentiments that they're all uttering right now. It's a whole echo chamber. These people want war. Look at this. This is real. Fox News hosts advocates for deleting the homeless. It's going crazy, y'all.
And he talks towards the end of the clip. Watch.
These people are ready to purge, man.
You're about to watch a clip from Fox News. It's a host named Brian Kilmeade who is advocating for the murder of homeless people. It's only 22 seconds. He's on the far right, no coincidence there, and he talks towards the end of the clip. Watch.
They have given billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection.
Yeah.
Or something.
What? Nah, bruh. Or involuntary lethal injection? He said this on the news, y'all. Y'all see what type of time these people are on right now? Y'all see how evil and wicked these individuals are right now? And I told y'all MAGA was a cult. And they out here talking about killing the homeless. I personally believe they already been doing this, but now they getting bold with it. Yeah, this place is turning into Nazi Germany right in front of us, man. Y'all heard that correctly. So now you see why the stuff Andrew Tate was spewing is so dangerous. They all on this right now. Nah, bruh.
Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why?
If that's not actual Nazi eugenics bullshit, I do not know what is. I cannot believe that that aired on Fox News. And yet, of course, where else would it air? I know people are on edge right now, but I think this is a little beyond the pale, calling for the murder of people just because they had the unfortunate luck to end up homeless in America.
Nah, man. And people still wondering if these are white supremacists and Nazis. People still wondering what type of time they on. and you got people out here want to align themselves up with these people, bruh.
Him on a public
and we want to be more than Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, soon as listen, you know a person when they leave this earth, what kind of legacy they left behind. If things get worse, you already know how they live life. You already know.
I want to watch that execution. That'll make my day better. I want to see him on a public block and get him be publicly executed. And I think that would be justice. You think children should have...
You'll hear that?
I want to watch...
He want to watch it. So that means if we sit up there and watch your death 50 times, you know, we just keep on replaying the video of you getting popped in the neck, then, you know, we pretty much justified. Because he wanted public executions, and then his Freemasonic Illuminati constituents, they gave him that. They gave him that. They gave him that.
That execution. That'll make my day better. I want to see him on a public block and get him be publicly executed. And I think that would be justice. You think children should have... You should see it. What is the age? At what age should you start to see public executions?
16. I think you could do it earlier. I think you maybe at age 12, whenever, like 6th grade or so. You are a person, you know, they're old enough.
They want to see black people lynched so bad. Oh, they want to see it so bad. The blood of their ancestors is just, it's just crying out. They just want to see us dangling from trees so bad. They like, you know, can we get a little bit of what our ancestors got? Can we just get a little bit of what they got? Yeah, Charlie Kirk was sick, and you could tell how sick he was based on how his wife is acting right now. He was sick. Yeah, I mean, this is what these people are about. Revelations 18:2. Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. It's become the habitation of devils and the hole of every foul spirit and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Babylon is fallen. It's become perverted. It's become demonic. It's become demented.
Enough to you don't need to like really wallow in it and have them be broken on a wheel or anything. But if it was something like chopping, you know, if we had a guillotine or something,
I want to watch that execution. That'll make my day. I want to watch that execution. That'll make my day better. I want to see him on a public block and get him be publicly executed.
So there you have it. Charlie Kirk definitely wanted to see public execution, and that was his fate. Now, none other than Trump, he's talking crazy too. Like, these people are all on one accord right now. They want civil war. So all the people out there who've been talking about Nubreed want to see a race war. I don't want to see no race war. I'm trying to de-escalate the situation. Our people are saying we don't want no parts of that. They want a race war. Only thing we want to do is get our people out of harm's way by following the word. That's all we want to do. But listen to what Trump said, right? Yeah, that's right. Somebody said, Breed, we on code. Exactly. Look at this. Listen to what he says.
I really shouldn't say it, but I think I've got to say it. The far right in our country doesn't exist yet. The far left, the Looney Tune Brigade, however, is quite real. Real as real gets, as serious as cancer. Cancer, not good. But people forget that I'm a moderate. Charlie was a moderate as well. But the psycho left has been poking a sleeping bear with sticks, calling the bear names, stealing the bear's wallet, and have actually begun shooting the bear. But this isn't an ordinary bear, folks. No. No, it's not. This, of course, is what scholars refer to as a metaphor. So, if I were a miserable lefty who hated my dad and thought John Oliver was a real looker, I'd pause here and ask myself, do I want to keep poking this bear, or do I want my face to be ripped off in a horrific bear accident?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, they talking about somebody poking the bear. It seems like Trump is pulling a Nero. In case y'all don't know who Nero is, Nero was an individual. He was a king in ancient Babylon who burnt his own buildings down. I mean, he burnt them down, set ablaze to them, only to blame the children of Israel. And then he pursued them with warfare. That's what he seems to be doing with the Democrats. We already know that this Tyler kid that did the shooting never claimed to be a Democrat. And we know he was Republican raised. Matter of fact, we had his report. I pulled it up for y'all. First one to pull it up. He was nonpartisan, meaning he didn't go for left or right. So why is Trump trying to manufacture this crisis with the left? Because what they're doing is they're lumping the left in with homosexuals, degenerates, but they're trying to lump black people in with them too, when we're the real conservatives. We're the real conservatives, us Bible believers. But he's trying to lump all those individuals in one boat, right? And that's who really they're going to go to war with. Although, from what I'm hearing, there's a whole lot of down low Republicans, like, a lot of sassy Republicans that's on the low, like, like people like Andrew Tate, allegedly. Andrew Tate, the same one that said he'd rather deal with a transgender than an ugly female. Y'all remember when he said that? So don't get it twisted. There's a lot of those people over there acting macho, acting manly on the Republican side, but they really be limp wrist and buck broken and all of that. But yeah, Nero was a Roman emperor. What I said, Babylon? Yeah, I meant Rome. Ancient Rome. Thank you. I do stand corrected on that. He was a Roman leader. Burnt his own buildings down. Blamed it on somebody else. I think that's what Trump is pulling. Yeah, everything I'm hearing from Trump, everything's looking like AI to me too, because Trump never spoke this clearly before. I don't know. Maybe they done done some stuff with him, man. I don't know. Maybe when he was missing, they went and tuned him up or something.
I really shouldn't say it, but I think I've got to say it. The far right in our country doesn't exist yet. The far left, the Looney Tune Brigade, however, is quite real. Real as real gets, as serious as cancer. Cancer, not good.
Yeah, his mouth is moving like AI. The hell is going on?
I really shouldn't say it, but I think I've got to say it. The far right in our country doesn't exist yet. The far left, the Looney Tune Brigade, however, is quite real. Real as real gets, as serious as cancer. Cancer, not good. But people forget that I'm a moderate. Charlie was a moderate as well. But the psycho left has been poking a sleeping bear with sticks, calling the bear names, stealing the bear's wallet, and have actually begun shooting the bear. But this isn't an ordinary bear, folks. No. No, it's not. This, of course, is what scholars refer to as a metaphor. So, if I were a miserable lefty who hated my dad and thought John Oliver was a real looker, I'd pause here and ask myself, do I want to keep poking this bear, or do I want my face to be ripped off in a horrific...
Yeah, we got to be careful, man. Some of this stuff some of this, man, Some of this stuff is AI. Like we caught the AI glitch on the last video. Yeah, his mouth look like it's AI. I'm telling you, bro. It's something, bro. Y'all gotta be careful. We don't know what's real and what's fake these days, bro. I'm telling you. But anyway, let me go to the next one here. Yeah, man, this is crazy. What's going on in Britain right now? Look at this. Next to me. I don't want to get hit with copyright. It looked like they out there protesting. Yeah, England is fighting back. There's some stuff going on out there. Something going on out that way. No doubt. I'm telling you, man, these people are on one. And man, Jason Whitlock, oh man, he been doing a lot of Jason Whitlock been talking crazy. I want to watch this one last video here on what you call it had to say, D.L. Hughley.
They bantering the word assassination around. Charlie Kirk was not a political figure. I mean, he might have been influential to political figures. He wasn't a political figure. He wasn't assassinated. He was shot. He was shot. And that's unfortunate. Unfortunately, that happens to far too many people. But those.
So they out there chanting Charlie over there in Great Britain. So, you know, he has a worldwide, it's people gathering worldwide on Charlie Kirk's behalf. So apparently the wife said some things was going to be unleashed. So it looks like it's going down.
Those other two congressmen, they were political figures, and they were shot because of their political beliefs. And it's always like we can only have empathy for people if we relate to them, if we spark to them, if we have a tribal connection to them. It is a shame. And the thing that makes me the angriest about this is I always swore that I would never cede my humanity to anybody or any other situation, but that's getting more and more difficult to do because I certainly don't believe a young man 31 years old should have lost his life. But Charlie Kirk was a horrible human being. He said horribly incendiary things. As a matter of fact, he died. The very last words he spoke were basically putting the onus of gun violence on gangs, which is a synonym for synonymous with black people. He blamed the very way he died was lying about black people with his last breath.
Yep.
And I just think the best thing I can say is that I hope he believed what he was saying. I hope he believed that lives being lost were worth it so the Second Amendment can persevere. I hope he believed that there should be a lack of empathy. He was parsing between sympathy. Sympathy means we have a similarity. Empathy means I have nothing to do with you, but I can still feel your pain as a human being. And I hope he believed all the rhetoric he espoused, because if not, that was certainly an empty, vacant way to live, and certainly a horrible way to die.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I cannot disagree with what he said on that. You can't walking around talk about how you don't believe in empathy, and then when you pass on, you expect people to have empathy, especially people that you denigrated. And you know, people gotta stop with that. Let's get this off here. People gotta stop with that, man. Trying to tell people how they should feel, how they should process their emotions. Like, cut that out. Stop trying to guilt trip people. People gonna feel how they feel. And I'm gonna tell you, it ain't just the black community. When I get on social media, I'm seeing white folks. I've seen them celebrate Charlie's death more than black folks. They going in. I mean, they going in. Judges 16 and 29. And Samson took hold of two middle pillars upon which the house stood, and it was borne up, of the one with his right hand and of the other with his left. All right. I see that. But look, I'm telling y'all, man, you don't let people guilt trip y'all, make y'all feel some type of way. You're always gonna have somebody coming at us trying to make us feel bad for not having empathy. Because listen, the world is ran off of our empathy. The children of the light they need our empathy. But we tired of this world. We're gonna let them deal with this situation. This ain't none of our business. Just leave us alone, right? But listen, if y'all want to sponsor the show, hit me up on the Cash App. I do a lot of investigative journalist work. I stay consistent for y'all. I bring a lot of hot takes. Just support the material, y'all. It goes a long way to continue to be motivated to do this here at work, and it would be appreciated. And if you don't want to just, support via Cash App, you can actually get something for your support. Once you go over there to Nubreed Global Truth, there's lots, NubreedGlobalTruth.com. There's lots of nice merchandise over there, and you can go support by purchasing some of it. We got all kind of items over there. Soaps. We got Hebrew Care over there. Natural products. We got shirts. We got it all, y'all. We got it all. We got caps, shirts, clothes, nice stuff, man. Quality stuff for a quality price. So if you want to sponsor the show, show your support. Rep some of the gear, and it'll be highly appreciated, man. I love each and every one of y'all. It's always an honor building with y'all. I will be coming with more material. Y'all have a good one.